Hey folks, I wanted to give you a quick update on the status of the update that's coming to Chordie. Okay, so first of all, a lot of stuff has changed in this. There's a huge graphical update, complete refresh. To be totally honest, this application was a complete rewrite from scratch. I've added a ton of stuff that was never correctly implemented in the very beginning. Okay, so let me collect my thoughts a little bit. So the first thing I want to say is that there's no team that's involved with this application. It's literally just me. I'm the only person working on it. It's always been my project. I've never hired anybody to work on it. So, yeah, this stuff takes a long time when you're the only person doing it. First of all. I only have so much time in the day that I can spend working on this. If I'm not working on this, I'm helping all the students that are in my course that are learning C++ and learning audio programming, or I'm taking care of my son Mickey. So that's what's going on with me, and the reason that this update hasn't come out yet. Okay, so I'd want to show you a couple of the new features, and I want to show you a couple of the things that are currently still in progress and need to be completed before this is done. So first of all, there's let me see. There's a couple new features with regards to the menus and the colors and whatnot. Let me just reset this entirely to default. Okay, so this is just for me to test out how this note gets computed and whatnot. So the first thing is that you can click notes on and off, which is cool. So you can just click them on and whatnot. The colored note heads correspond to what you're seeing on the fretboard. You can turn that stuff off. So that would be like piano roll. Don't show me the notes matching don't show the keys matching the fretted notes. If I do that, then I have this. You can do the same thing for the manuscript view. Don't color the note heads that are matching the fretted notes like that. But I want to see the note names right here still colored. Okay, so some people want to know exactly what they're playing on the fretboard and where it lives on here and where it lives on here. So that's the reason that feature exists. Okay, so it's all about providing more information and whatnot to you, the user. Let's see. A huge feature is this separate windows thing. So this thing splits into separate windows, and they are literally these windows right here that are, they have this hidden menu thing, hidden menu bar thing. So you click on it, and that's how you position everything and whatnot and move it around and whatnot. Piano roll is, let's see, the piano roll is like fully resizable. Let me play a chord. Let's see. Like that. Okay. So yeah, piano roll is fully resizable. Some of these are not fully resizable. They use a scale, so that way the graphics look the same. This is the little menu bar thing. I can hide over there. Yeah, so same for this one. It's kind of trying to give you a quick tour. So the other thing that's cool about this is that when you switch it back to a single window view, and then if you want to switch back to separate windows, all the positions are remembered, which is cool. All right, so let me switch back to a single window view. Now, some people have asked for this feature. With the single window view, this is resizable as well. I think that's the smallest it can get. So that's cool. And then the other thing is, like, if I quit the app and then rerun it, all those positions are going to be remembered, which is, I think that's pretty cool. I think that'll be pretty helpful for those of you that use this with OBS or something. Yeah, there's my note that's being tested. If I switch to separate windows, then they'll all still be there. And then I can also reset this stuff to default separate window locations like that. So I think that's cool. That'll be helpful for some people. Reset to default single window position. Okay. A lot of these colors are currently customizable. I want to show you a new thing with the sustain pedal. So let me just play a chord and then sustain it. So there's this new indicator. This is what you actually see in classical piano notation. If you sustain something, you'll see that. So that's the reason that this is here. The notes are colored. If you push the sustain pedal, you can turn this off. So piano roll settings don't show sustained keys like that. And then also piano roll note on color. All this stuff is like, fully customizable. And like I said, all this stuff is stored correctly to disk. So if I run that, you'll see it's that kind of grayish blue color now. So this opens up. You close that. You can see now it's not the original color, because if I go to options, okay, one thing I need to add a reset to default color, but that is currently just doing like reset all to default, which clears all the window settings, all that stuff. So see there, if I play this chord again, whoops, play this chord again, it's defaulting to green because the fretted note color is green, and the piano roll is set to show keys matching the fretted notes, and the manuscript view is set to also show note heads that match all that stuff. Okay, here's a, I'm going to call this a hidden feature because I'm not sure if I want to make it in production. If you hold down the option key when doing this menu and you do font, it's going to show you all your system fonts, and then you can pick a font that you want to be used for the text that shows up. I'm a huge fan of this American typewriter. I think it looks the best. So if I play that same chord, this looks awesome. So I'm a big fan of that. So I'm gonna add some more notes, and there we go. Okay, let's see. So a feature that, something that just needs to be worked on when you change this font. So you notice right here, I've got these, right now it's showing these as split chords. Like here we've got this E minor 11 flat 5, which is, that's this part right here. That's that thing right there. And I've got that C in the bottom. This is like this. So sometimes if I have really long chord symbols, like, let me switch the key to D because I had this chord going on earlier. D, F sharp, B, C, E, A, flat B, like that. If I add this F natural in here. Okay, so this thing right here, you'll notice that this split line is currently connected between all of them. So that's one of those things where it's like, if I get rid of this F, you can see that it only draws that line as long as the topmost symbol. So for right here, it should draw it as long as this bottom symbol because that's the longest of the two. And when I add that F back in, you can see the longest symbol is this one to this B right here, and that's the reason that it's like touching the next symbol over. Okay, so that's one of the things that is just like, it's just the fit and polish that needs to be corrected. Sorry, there's an airplane going by overhead. Yeah, it's one of those things that just needs correcting. And it's just, this stuff just takes me a while to like figure out, okay, what's the best way to implement that change so this is still readable and whatnot. And again, like if I change the font, then let's see, what was I on? I think I was on Josephine Sands or something like that. J, where's J? H-I. Oh, it's this I-O Sveka thing or whatever. I think it comes with that font. So we don't have a problem when we do it with this one because this font is not as wide or something like that. Okay, so like that's just one of those things that needs to be, I just need to spend some time with it and figure out what's the best way to do that. There's stuff like this natural symbol that's right next to this F. Like, should that be there? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. What is this calling? It's F natural minor 7 sharp 11 over B. So that's saying that it's the B, then the C, E flat, F, A flat, B. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Let's see, what else is there? The cycling of this is awesome, but like the way these get sorted, like sometimes they don't have the correct number of, it should be doing all the ones that have the most notes first. So the way this stuff gets rated is not fully realized. I need to spend some time fleshing that out. Here goes another airplane. Geez, they fly by so quickly. Let's see. Yeah, this feature is pretty cool. I like it. You know, there's a lot of people that spend time figuring out how to play stuff on guitar, so this is for them. I'm still working on improving, making that calculation a lot faster. Let's see. Oh, I should have just used my all notes off button. There's like an unlimited number, not unlimited, but you can go like up to 12 strings and up to I think 24 frets, something like that. And when, you know, if you have like a chord being played, like this chord, I'll add that on top of it. If I change the number of strings, it's going to compute something new. Man, that was fast. So that's cool. All this stuff, you can like retune it the way you want. You can change the number of frets and whatnot. It's going to recompute new calculations, or it's going to recompute new solutions for all that stuff. Let's see. Let me just reset. Yeah, reset all the default. It's going to do that. And then there's stuff like you can clear the database that gets stored for all this stuff. I'm still trying to figure out how to, if I can eliminate that database entirely by making the computation that happens here very quickly, very, very quick, then I won't even need to use that database, which is just like a whole really complicated thing. Let me go back to playing this chord. Play that. Or play that. Okay, so let me go back to the key of D. So one of the features is this spelling table thing. And what that lets you do is customize the way the altered tones are displayed, like this C natural. I need to add some stuff to this so it's more intuitive. A lot of people are going to be like, I don't understand what's going on. Here's the name of the diatonic tones in the scale that you're in. The notes that are lit up are the non-diatonic tones, so I need to display those note names here. And then if you click on these, like, let's see, I'm going to change this E flat from being displayed as a flat to being displayed as a sharp. So it's going to say D sharp. And you'll see that that changes here. That changed the way it's drawn here. That changed the way it was drawn here. Stuff like that. So I want to make this customizable for each key because let's see, if we're in the key of like C sharp, you can see, like, first of all, there's like collisions that are going on here which need to be fixed. You might not want your, let's see, let me play a chord in the key of C sharp, an altered chord. All right, you might not want it, for whatever reason, you might not want to display D natural and E natural. You may want those to be displayed as sharps because that's what you prefer. So if you do that, then we get this CX and DX because those are C double sharp and D double sharp. Those are the raised. That's just what those notes are called, right? C sharp in the key of C sharp is the 1, and then a sharp 1 is a C double sharp. A sharp 2 is a D double sharp versus a flat 3 is an E natural versus a E sharp, and then a flat 2 is a D natural instead of a normal 2, which would be a D sharp. So there's just all these tiny little rules and stuff that need to be figured out. I think there's some point, like if I play like a cluster like this, or maybe it's like a cluster like this, I get these collisions that happen right here. It's like I need to figure out how I'm going to space these note names out so they're drawn a little bit not like that. Things like, do I want these natural signs to show up in these these string names right here if I'm not in a key that has those drawn that way? Yeah, it's just all this little stuff that is the polish and the finish, that makes the app work really well and make it run really fast and just make it look really good. So that way, when you're making your tutorial videos, the information is accurate and it's like presented in the simplest and most cleanest way possible. Yeah, so all that kind of stuff just needs to be tweaked and whatnot. Like I think I had some chord name view, show alternate chord names. I wanted to add something where it's like put the simplest note names or simplest chord names first. So let me go back to that D chord. I'll show you what I mean by that. So if I play that chord again. Okay, so the easiest way to think about this chord is in my right hand, I'm playing an whoops, one more time. In my right hand, I'm playing A flat minor 6. All right, and then in my left hand, I'm playing D13. And sure enough, that's over here on the right, this one right here, and that should be, if I had a menu option that said simplest chord names first, that's the one that would appear here instead of the primary name, right? These are all like alternate ways of thinking about this chord. So that's the way that stuff works. And it's all, at some point I'm gonna have to say, all right, this is enough. No more free features. Like people that bought this app 5 years ago or 4 years ago are getting this update for free, and they haven't They probably paid me $10 because that's what this app originally cost. The first time I released it, it was only $10 because it had half the features that I've got in here now. Anyway, there's still a bunch of stuff to do. Like I haven't even updated the server thing. That all these chord definitions are pulled down from the server, and so if ever somebody's like, hey, can you add in like just add a scale for me? Like, can you add the harmonic minor scale? Some of the modes of that, like that, or melodic minor. If you want to can you add a mode to that? Like that, Dorian flat 2. And I can be like, yeah, sure, let me just update the server definition. I change it on the server, and then I say, okay, restart your app, and then there it is. It's right in there, all ready to go. You don't have to download a new update. That's the whole reason that this app needs an internet connection, so that way if people that way whenever you open it, you get the most recent, most current chord definitions. Okay? So I know a lot of people have asked, like, why does this thing call home? Why doesn't it have chords within it? Because that stuff gets changed, and I need a way of changing them without annoying the user to download the latest update, so I don't get hammered with a bunch of like, hey, it doesn't show this chord or whatever. Okay? So it's a little justification for why this thing needs an internet connection to work. Okay, so as you can see, I'm really far along. I'm sure if I just like start mashing keys and whatnot, it might crash or something, but surprisingly it's not. Well, this thing is, I used to have a feature where it's like figuring out what's going on. You can see it thinking about that stuff in the background. You can see that because the CPU usage is cranking away. Yeah. There's just still like a lot of stuff that needs to be like tweaked and finalized, and then I can put it out there in the world, and then then I can start working on the new version. So I know I announced back in December, I think, that there was going to be a new update coming. So I wanted to give you, the people who have supported this app and have been able to benefit from it, teaching yourself music theory or teaching other people music theory or jazz, piano, or whatever. Just getting all that stuff working for you guys. So that way when you make your videos or when you do your Skype lessons and whatnot, you don't run into issues and like the app is stable and it all works amazing, and your teaching experience is not interrupted by the app not performing as it's supposed to. Okay, so I just wanted to give an update about that. I hope you found this insightful, and I again thank you so much for encouraging me to keep working on this by continuing to buy it and support it and use it. I never thought this would turn into the product that it has turned into. I never thought that it would get the traction that it got. So thank you so much from me and my family. Y'all are keeping the lights on. So I love that. I love that this app is helping so many people gain access to theory that they just... I don't think theory's hard, but apparently it's like, like unless you go to one of those graduate schools or you get, you like study privately or something, like theory is kind of out of reach for a lot of people. And so I made this app so that way it wouldn't be. Okay, so I'm kind of rambling, so I'm going to go back to development. I'm going to go back to fleshing out the rating system so I can figure out why a voicing like that is rated, is chosen the way it is, because there's clearly better choices that could, like this choice right there is probably the voicing that keyboard that guitarist would actually play if you were to play that chord. Okay? All right. So I'm going to end this video here, and thank you for taking the time to watch it. I hope you got something out of it, and thank you for continuing to support this app as well as my Programming for Musicians course, where you can learn to write software like this and audio plugins and whatnot. All right. So we'll close this spelling table. Okay. Thank you again so much. Appreciate you tuning in.